They require a story to be told to them to make them buy. They need to understand the story having been told by someone else before they get into it. Me, I invent the story. And I understand the story before it has even been understood by anyone. I've come up with several different narratives, or I guess theses, which the entire market is completely oblivious to. And over time, the market understands what I'm saying, and I'm making excessive amounts of money. One of the first ones was the Blur airdrop. I came up and the NFT exchange token thesis. I was like the first guy to talk about that. And then everyone starts talking about it. Toshi. Obviously, the Toshi thesis was before I got in, but the level of depth that I went to was way beyond anyone else at the time. Okay? And that's what's allowed me to make those outsized returns on some of these plays. I'm understanding a narrative that's going to play out, a story that's going to play out before others do. Right? Now, what's the next point? So I want to give you some examples of like amazing stories in crypto. So obviously we just covered Toshi, so I would say like alt-chain specific meme coins. So like a Solana meme coin, a Base meme coin. These ones have gone really well recently. They're very big stories. Another recent one was Solana versus Ethereum. So there's a whole narrative around that. Solana being faster, cheaper, easier, for arguments around which blockchain is more scalable, which one makes more sense, is it decentralized? The story of the house money effect and how Solana now has a house money effect. How there's actually like new protocols airdropping and there's more money to be made on Ethereum. It's bringing this sea of money over. Once the money comes over, it usually doesn't like to come back. You can talk about how good the team is or what they do, the whole narrative behind Fire Dancer and what that means for how many transactions per second are going to be occurring when it comes out. There's this entire like narrative battle between Solana and Ethereum. Another one is Bitcoin. So, the first cryptocurrency is Bitcoin. The narrative behind Bitcoin has led to us to get to $1 trillion market cap. How do we summarize the narrative of Bitcoin in one, one meme? Well, this is it, right? This is the ultimate meme of crypto. This is the ultimate narrative. It's that you will buy a coin that you won't have to sell one day because it will be mass adopted by billions of people around the world. You're going to buy a Bitcoin, and it's going to go up so much because so many people are using it that you never will actually have to sell your Bitcoin. You will simply just be able to use it, right? The whole idea is peer-to-peer electronic cash, decentralized, able to send money to anyone anywhere around the world instantly for very cheap, right? This is the whole narrative of crypto, of Bitcoin specifically. Now there's new narratives, but this is the main one, okay? So this is like a very, very big narrative. Another one would be a Casper. So my friend, I got a video on this course with my friend. He talks about how he made a 50x on Casper, and he goes into the narrative that he saw when he first found the coin. And I want to go to Toshi first. So what was the narrative around Toshi? Well, let's look at this video, right? I think I've showed this video a few times, but I want to show you it again because I think it's really important to understand this exemplar because it's one, recent, and two, a really good example. So I think some point in this video I show you the different sections in this email talking about the step-by-step sort of narrative process I see. Here it is. Okay, where did it go? All right, here we go. Found it. Okay, hold up. Shit's in the way. Get rid of it. Get rid of the boxes. There we go. So yeah, this was the narrative that I had come up with. Remember, we talk about looking to the second and third order consequences. Well, ETFs get approved, right? First steps played out. Halving approaches. It's now January. The halving's in April, right? Bitcoin goes parabolic and the attention shifts to crypto. Coinbase, the biggest exchange player, has heaps of new, people sign up. There's a positive regulatory backdrop, so Coinbase looks like it's going to win its case in a week or two, I think it is, against the SEC. BlackRock supporting crypto publicly, the CEO on TV all the time, shilling crypto. So we get good regulatory framework and backdrop. Real applications are building on Base. Coinbase wants to up its users in the value chain. They send them over to Base. Millions of users send money to Base. Creates a Base alt season. What do they buy? Well, they can't buy a Base token because there isn't one, so they have to buy the native meme coin because that's the best beta play asset, and that's the main coin on Base right now, which is Toshi or maybe Mochi, right? So that's me looking multiple steps ahead. ETF, halving, tons of users come in. Coinbase wants to send them across the Base. What do they buy on Base? You can see that I'm thinking multiple steps ahead here, and this is the narrative behind why people are going to buy Toshi. Okay? So that's an example of a narrative that I came up with inside of my mastermind. We made tons of money. Now, if you're watching this in a year from now and Toshi's dead, or Toshi's at $2 million market cap again, you need to understand that this is not a long-term hold. I will eventually sell this. So you need to keep in mind that, there's not just, it's down now, Daniel. Did you lost all your money? No. Like, this video does not update you on what I do in the future, so just keep that in mind, okay? Now, let's talk about Casper. Casper's another example, okay? So, Casper is a layer 1, right? It's a new layer 1. Let me show you Casper, okay? Casper is a new layer 1 protocol, and everyone's looking at it and saying, this is like the next Bitcoin. It's like a better Bitcoin. It's got, a founder who was cited in the Ethereum white paper by, because of this ghost protocol, I think is what he came up with. And, everyone's really excited on this coin, and it's gone up like 50x, okay? You can see this coin has gone up a lot. Was it like fucking... What was it at down here? A very low price, and now it's up at, 11 cents, okay? $2 billion market cap. The whole supply is liquid. Fair launch. There's like and my friend caught this coin very, very early, okay? And this is the narrative behind it, okay? So here, we talk about, quoted in the Ethereum white paper. So he, in a 2013 paper, he talked about the Ghost protocol, and it was cited in the Ethereum white paper when Ethereum was made. So this guy's an OG, okay? So imagine you were looking for a coin to buy back in, when, let's say at the bottom of the bear market in December 2023, okay? Or sorry, December 2022. You were looking around, looking at all these coins, dog shit, dog shit, dog shit, dog shit. You come across this coin, and you see that it's being built by a crypto OG who was cited in the Ethereum white paper, who probably knows a lot of the guys who are very deep in the crypto space, okay? You could look at this and a number of other data points like fair launch, it's a new L1, the next Bitcoin, all this sort of stuff. You could see the community strong, and you could come up with a narrative that this might be the next big layer 1. And you can look at the fact that this guy is very deep in the crypto space. There's going to be more stuff coming out about how deep in crypto this guy is, about various things that high-level people have said about him. And so if everyone up here is talking about how smart he is, and this coin's at like a $50 million market cap, just by the association with these high-level people who run AVAX, Ethereum, etc., the coin is going to just have its market cap gravitate up towards that region because the narrative will be strong enough to take it there. And if you look at, for example, I think there was a tweet here. Which one was it? Here. This photo shows all the different high-level people who have an opinion on Casper, right? This is what the experts are saying. This is all positive stuff that the different... So, for example, we've got the Ethereum founder. We've got Nervo's lead scientist, Grindev, Avalanche founder. I can't see what exactly this is showing. I can't show it to you. But it's all positive feedback on Casper and the different protocols or, stuff that he's come up with over the years. So you can see that, like, the early days of the narrative was, okay, this guy's smart and everyone's, this is like a really strong narrative that the market's going to catch on to. And you can see that now the market has caught onto it, prices up 50x. Okay? Whereas, how many coins in the market can you say are created by one of the crypto OGs who's really smart, who basically contributed to the development of like the second biggest cryptocurrency? Not many guys you can say have that resume. So when you were researching back in the day, not like a year ago, not even back in the day, like a year ago, this would have, bing bing, this would have, fucking, like alarms would have gone off. And here you can see the AVAX founder comments on Zohar and his group, the track record. These guys are behind. I think he's referring to the people behind Casper, but he's like, didn't realize this was from Aviv Zohar's group. Excellent track record. Looking forward to their paper. This was like how many years ago? 8-9 years ago. Okay. As well as this, you can see like an example of like a narrative. Scalable, secure, decentralized, blah, blah, blah. All this bullshit, right? Here's another one. Here's another narrative. Here's another story. Remember, it's all about stories. It doesn't matter if this is true or not. It's about the story. Casper is in another league. It is the true embodiment of decentralized P2P digital stateless currency. Fully autonomous from any government or person. Fully in control by no one. By the people, for the people. Everything Bitcoin was meant to be. Right? So you could have gone and looked at this coin when it came out and gone, man, like, there's big narrative space here. Like, big narratives could form around this coin. I can forward predict that people, like, you could forward predict and guess that this stuff was going to start coming out. So I basically just went over this, but as covered in that interview I talked about, I hope you go and watch that, talking about the guy who did a 50x on Casper in my mastermind. The components of the story shield today, after the price is up 50x plus, were evident when you would have found the coin very early. Quoted in the ETH white paper. Notable figure. The specifics of the fair launch. It was clear. The seeds of the narrative were planted, but not known by the rest of the market. It was known by some of the best performing... So, one thing to keep in mind is that, the best performing coins generally had like a Giga Chad founder. AVAX, Solana, BNB, Ethereum, Cardano, every one of these coins had a Giga Chad founder behind them. And if you read into Casper, you would have noticed that at a $50 million market cap, this guy was an equivalent Giga Chad level founder. I know it's a funny way to express that, but like a very intelligent founder, like these other top performing coins. So you could have forward predicted that as Casper developed and we came out of a bear market, that the market would eat up this narrative. So that's another case study for you. Whoop. Now let's talk about some considerations now that we've gone over this narrative stuff. Narratives are not the be-all, end-all. You can't just rely on a narrative to make money. There's more components. There's all the other stuff we talk about. And lots of narratives you're not going to be able to predict. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, oh yeah, I can tell every narrative that's going to happen before it happens. No, you can't. The ones that you can predict, like with Toshi, for example, you do really well on, but some narratives you're not going to understand. And really, not every investment needs a narrative. If you know that the team is really, really good and they're going to keep building and they're in a good niche and they're able to pivot and you're in at an early price and it's a new coin, you don't need to do a ton of depth into, what narratives are going to form. You don't need to, okay? You can just purely invest based off of the other fundamental characteristics talked about in this course. Now, advanced narrative analysis works good for coins purely driven by a speculative premium. So when you're buying, like I said before, meme coins, buying meme coins and using narratives to understand why you should buy it is basically the only way that you can analyze a meme coin. It's only through narrative analysis. Okay? Obviously, it's important if it has a good team. But it all ties into the story, and the story is the main thing, okay? Now, the point at which a story is fully understood and digested by the market is the point at which you must sell. So a story and a narrative is only good if the market does not yet understand it. By the point the market understands it all, it's been priced in and there's not really much more money to be made on that narrative. So, if you have a narrative and it comes to fruition and everyone gets it and you're like, oh, great, you all agree with me now, you got to exit and find the next one. and I did a tweet about this. You need to sell when your once third order consequences become the market's front-facing reality. So let's say something happens which causes this, which causes this. You're predicting, to the third order consequence. When the third order consequence of prediction happens, you have to sell because it's